On today's hot sheet, I'm discussing a Robert Reffkin appearance on CNBC. The boost in purchasing power from the drop in mortgage rates and the hottest zips of 2025. Today is Tuesday, August 5, 2025. I am Byron Lazine. Hot sheet starts now. Live from Connecticut. Let me know where you're tuning in from today. Let me know if you just joined me and Tom Toole over on the BAM X members only role play. We do that every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 9 to 9, right before the hot sheet. So I think I saw Fidel was over there. So appreciate that. Dawn was over there. So awesome. Awesome to see some of you guys there and here. We got a bunch to talk about on the hot sheet. Robert Reffkin was on CNBC, not on BAM. Robert, we're waiting. Okay. I had some comments, Haley. People like, hey, your interview with Rory Galad seems like you. First of all, I don't think I played it any different than any other interview. I've done debates before. I'm very respectful. I let people talk. People think I'm going to like interrupt everybody. That's not my style when I get into an interview. But hey, were you kind of teeing that up so you could get Reffkin? Of course. I want Robert Reffkin interview. So still waiting for that. Hopefully we can get Robert. He went on CNBC. We'll break down those comments. But first, Haley, somebody was on CNBC Squawk Box this morning. It was President Trump. Okay. President Trump was live on CNBC Squawk Box from the phone. It was kind of outrageous. I mean, he was feeling himself, I would say, on this interview. But he did drop one key piece of information that's relevant to us here on the only live housing show on the internet every Monday through Thursday. Trump says that Treasury Secretary Doesnt does not want to be the Fed chair. Okay, so you could take Secretary Doesnt out of the running. Scott Bessent, who's done a pretty good job, I think that's common across both sides of the aisle, being a Treasury Secretary. He's a level-headed guy. He's a lifelong Democrat that Trump brought into his administration. He's a guy who knows the private sector. He's a big collaborator. So Secretary Scott Bessent saying, no, I want to stay in my spot. You've got likely candidates are Governor Kevin Warsh and Kevin Hassett. You also have, presumably, he says there's four names. Presumably one of them would be Waller, current Fed governor. Remember, Adriana Kogler announced Friday she's resigning effective this Friday from the FOMC. This allows the president to install another of his appointees to the Fed Board of Governors. So you had a 9-2 vote, two saying no, first time since 93 on keeping rates the same. Nope, they were opposing. You had 9 that went with it. I mean, so now at best, he's going to appoint somebody in September. It'll be 8-3. I think with the jobs, what we're seeing from CME Group, obviously from the poly market degens, is that it's likely that there will now be a cut in September just based on jobs. We have another job report coming before that, so a lot can change, obviously. But that's the big news here that was made on Squawk Box from the president himself this morning was Secretary Scott Bessent out of contention by taking himself out. There are 4 other names. The only question will be, when will the president announce who the next Fed chair will be? If he does it early, that's a signal to the market. Okay, what does this new Fed chair believe in? Obviously, he's only going to announce somebody that believes in lowering the rates. That's pretty obvious at this point. And does the market start to price that in? That is the expectation, obviously, that they would do that. All right. Compass CEO also recently on CNBC's Squawk Box. Okay. He's talking about interest rates. We just had a big conversation on how to handle interest rate conversations over on the BAMX role play. If you want access to those role plays, by the way, just go to school.com/BAMX. It's members only role play every Tuesday right before the show here. You get the replays too if you can't make those. But we had a big conversation on how to take yesterday's year-to-date low on rates. What a great day yesterday was. We hit the year-to-date low and the 10-month low on interest rates just yesterday. And so we had a whole conversation about how to use that information in your conversations. I said, hey, Q Ice Cube, it's a good day yesterday, 6.57 on the 30-year fixed. Again, year-to-date low and lowest in the last 10 months, not the 12-month low, but year-to-date low, obviously there. All right, so Reffkin on rates, Reffkin on New York City mayoral candidate, Democrat primary, Mamdani, and the impact of that on kind of a real estate sector, and then some building renovations that could happen in New York City. So let's skip, Haley, the first timestamp that you have when he's talking about Compass earning highlights. They had record earnings, so congratulations, Compass. Let's go right to the U.S. market housing snapshot. And you've got that teed up for us. Let's go to Robert Reffkin, CEO of Compass.
That's your company. What's happening in the market itself?
Market overall, inventory is up 27%, single family, 16% for total inventory, which includes condos. Prices are actually up 1% year over year, so down in real terms given inflation. And 42% of the homes on the market have a price drop, more than any time in the last 12 years. And so there's more negotiability for buyers to get better prices.
So what does that say to you, though, about where we really are in the sort of larger economic cycle?
Yeah, what it says is after 5 years of the biggest issue being there's not enough inventory in the market, we now are back to pre-pandemic levels. There's more inventory than any time in the last 6 years. So that's a good thing.
You're talking.
And then next, Haley, we'll stay where we're at because they ask a question about where things actually, going well for real estate market and where things not going well. But he hit on all the key points. All the stats were right. I think that gives a significant opportunity here in the market as rates hit a year-to-date low and inventory is at pre-pandemic levels. When you talk nationally, it's going to be, obviously more severe in the Northeast to the downside and a little bit higher even than pre-pandemic levels to places like Southwest Florida and some of the Sunbelt states, places like Texas, certain areas, of course, in Texas. So you're going to have local differences. But when we're talking national landscape, pre-pandemic level on inventory, when you couple that with kind of what's going on here with the rates, it actually creates an opportunity to be an early mover for the really smart buyers. Okay. Smart people understand, wow, if I was a smart mover during COVID, then I was somebody who got the double up as prices increased. If I got out there and bought when everybody was buying with COVID, then I was at the absolute peak of the market. And I did not get that good. I didn't get as much of a deal as I could have as being somebody who hit the trend early. Okay. Mike Simonson, who's the founder of Altos Research, which Housing Wire owns, and is now the chief economist at Compass, still using Altos Research, the company he built, owned by Housing Wire. Put this inventory back to pre-pandemic levels. Unsold inventory 26.6% greater than last year. We cover that weekly, and I thought this was a good visual here to we're not at the same level of inventory in 2019 nationally that we were at in August, but we're right there on the doorstep. And generally speaking, 17, 18, 19 were overall a seller's market, and we're kind of obviously still in that spot nationally, and we're at those levels. Obviously, a huge recovery from where we've been. So, all right, let's go back to where Reffkin believes the market is really moving and where it's still struggling.
Nationwide.
Nationwide,
Right.
yes.
So let's talk about sort of pockets of the market. Where are things going gangbusters and where are things going the opposite direction?
I wouldn't say they're going gangbusters anywhere.
Anywhere. It's not right.
New development's hotter. People want things that are move-in ready. They want things that are easy, turnkey. Northeast is actually doing better because there's less supply than the rest of the country.
Correct.
I'd say markets that have shifted are Florida at the extreme, 8% less transactions than this time last year. 9 states have prices that are down year over year. That includes markets like Texas as well, where there's a big shift from COVID to go to from California and Texas. Some people are moving.
Sometimes, we skipped the part where they talk about the Compass earnings, and I love how I think it was Andrew on Squawk Box was like, yeah, that's your company. We don't care. Tell us about the market. Because you have your talking points. You have 5 minutes on Squawk Box. It's like, I want to get these out. That's why I want Robert on a full hour and a half, BAM interview podcast style, so we can dig deep on some of the industry stuff more specifically, obviously. But one thing, and you have your talking point, and sometimes I think I'm just going to say he probably misspoke. He said, new development is hotter. People want new. No, it's not hotter. It's actually one of the things that could potentially crush the economy right now. These rates are strangling builders. They're at 10 months of inventory. New development is the least hot thing happening in the real estate market right now. It's going the opposite direction. Their confidence is tanking. We need rates to come. And I think probably he just misspoke, but I just wanted to obviously jump in and address that. Interesting. He had some comments about the New York City mayor. We'll start with the rental market trends at 210, Haley, and then we'll flow into this. How would he improve affordability in a city like New York if he was the mayor of New York? This obviously leads into an overall discussion about a mayor who has been highly debated. Ryan Serhant recently, I think, was on Squawk Box or one of these shows, telling the public, this is how many calls I'm getting from big players who are like, if this happens, I'm out. I'm selling out of New York. Could be one of the things that is a benefit to Florida. What does Robert Reffkin, now public traded CEO, big voice, what does he say about what's going on in New York?
Back. Overall, rentals are in a better place. They're actually down prices year over year. In New York, less so because of the Fair Act, where the rental commission moved from the renter to the landlord. So landlords actually increased the prices of rentals. It's up 7% year over year.
All right, let me ask you a question, because we just talked about Mandami in New York City and this idea of rent control. Everybody wants more affordability in the city. I don't think that's in question. I think the question is, how do you get more affordability in the city? I've argued we need more supply. Now that's sort of
want your
4 or 5,
your place
7
to be
year.
a lot more affordable for someone who buys it from you.
Excuse me?
Everybody wants affordability. You want your place to be worth a lot less than it is now.
No, I don't. But everybody wants.
I don't know if everybody.
We want.
Well, that's a nice thing to say.
You want the city to have more affordability,
right? But
especially for people.
But you want your prices to go. You want your house.
You want your
go.
Yes,
right.
You do. And so my question to you
kind
is,
of
given what you know and understand about this city, if I said to you tomorrow, I make you the mayor, and you have, we'll call it 8 years. We'll give you 2 terms. What would you do?
Yeah, simple. Well, I wouldn't have slogans. I'd have solutions. I wouldn't penalize developers and landlords. I'd incentivize them to build more. The example would be Austin. If you want prices to go down, build more inventory. Austin built a lot more inventory. Prices are down for both sales and for rentals. It's just supply and demand.
How much down, though? If you look at Austin in terms of what they've been able to do, what did it do to the entire market?
Year over year, prices are down 15%.
It's easier to build in a place like Austin where you can expand beyond the city lines. How do you?
And when
do
you
that
have
in a place
common
like New
sense
York City?
regulation, but
You would convert commercial.
So I thought that was worth playing because it was a perfect answer from Robert Reffkin. I'd have slogans, not solutions. He said enough without, going and bashing Mamdani. all these major CEOs that have a HQ in New York City, like Compass, do not want to see this mayoral candidate get in. And maybe you like him or whatever. This is somebody who's an extremist when it comes to being anti-business. And so I would have I wouldn't have slogans. I'd have solutions. I wouldn't penalize developers and landlords. That's one of the, arguments against Mamdani. There's many arguments against Mamdani, but there's punishments and penalizing anyone who's growth, pro-business. And Reffkin gets it here. You can't penalize developers or landlords. They'll go find somewhere else to invest and build. You want more inventory. You can't penalize the people who build it. You just can't do it. So talking about incentivizing and build more, he brings up a great example, Austin. It's a market that gets it. It's one of the markets that actually has accomplished affordability. Look at the rental market in Austin. Look at the building market. I know she's talking about, hey, you can build differently in Austin because you can go beyond the city limits. You also have a very different regulatory environment. And Reffkin's response to that is he would convert commercial to residential. Now, developers are going to need a huge incentive to do that because it's cost prohibitive a lot of times. Let's go to 412, the wealth tax real quick, and then we're going to end with the Compass suing Zillow. His comments on CNBC might be a little bit different than what he puts on IG, but let's go to the wealth tax. This is what Sirhan has said is going to drive people out of New York. So you want to impact the real estate market. This is one way to do it. And then we'll go to the Compass suing Zillow comments, and then we'll move on.
Next question. Are you convinced one way or the other that whoever becomes the mayor of the city is going to change the dynamic of whether the wealthiest in the city flee the city or whether businesses come or go or what have you? How big a distinction do you think adding a 1 or 2% wealth tax in the city will be?
I think Mamdani has had an impact on sentiment for sure. We all know that. A modest impact on sales. I saw people that had contracts out say pull them. I saw people that said that were considering buying here and say I'm
really.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
People are going to get pied-à-terres for their kids. Say I'm not going to do that anymore. New York's not going to be safe. It's going to become like San Francisco or LA. And so I do think it's going to impact sentiment and sales.
Right.
However, not to a big degree. We're not seeing it flow through the data in any meaningful way.
Okay, so
Do you ever 1% or
one thing that's interesting, remember, usually you've got a publicly traded CEO that doesn't want to put themselves potentially in hot water with one side or the other on how people in the city that support Mamdani, for example. But you're hearing it now from almost all business owners. This would be bad, is essentially what he's saying. You read between the lines. Now he's saying we're not seeing it flow through the data in any meaningful way. Well, that's yet. He's a candidate, not a mayor. He becomes a mayor. I think what Sirhan is saying and what the early signs of what Reffkin is saying accelerates. And you do have an impact on the real estate market, whether it's the 2% wealth tax and some of the other ideas that Mamdani has floated out there. Let's go to his response on why Compass is suing Zillow.
You're suing Zillow.
Yeah.
Why?
So I'm suing Zillow on behalf of all agents and all home sellers. What Zillow is doing is they're banning any agent and their seller who doesn't list on Zillow in 24 hours. It's like Amazon saying, if you don't give me your listing so I can monetize it and sell it for a 40% referral fee, I'm going to ban you. And so that's why we're suing them.
But do you think that Zillow has some kind of monopoly?
Oh, absolutely. We're suing them as a monopoly for trying to they even say that they have 7% market share. And that's.
But I can still go to your website and find the houses and apartments and other things, correct?
Great point, Andrew.
Exactly. And that's why not everything should be guided towards. So imagine a world where the dominant platform in every industry, Google, Amazon, Apple said, if you don't list on me, on our company, we're going to ban you. That's not a world we want to live in.
It's a longer conversation. We appreciate you coming in.
It is
Thank you.
Thank you. It is a longer conversation. So Get this off there, Haley. It is a longer conversation, so thank you. Let's have that conversation. I had a little bit of it with Rory Galad here on the channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at Now Bam. You can go check that out. Myself and Rory, the president of growth, hoping to obviously get Revkin, have that longer conversation. All right, let's go to purchasing power. Mortgage rates, the new low yesterday, 6.57, year-to-date low, 10-month low. This is following a drop in the 10-year yield back to 4.2. We're at 6.5 with just a 4.2. We're not even under 4. This is the good news. An improving spread. Spread improves more. We'll be on our way to 6. Okay. So according to Redfin, that rate gives buyers on a $3,000 monthly budget an extra $20,000 in purchasing power. So the number's already being calculated because how long's the moment in time going to last to articulate this information to buyers who have been on the sidelines? I'd be thinking about these numbers for your market right now, today. I'd be having those conversations. What we talked about on the BAMX members only role play here this morning. We were talking through the framework of how to have that conversation. You can make sure you don't miss those by just trying BAMX out for 7 days. Go to school.com/BAMX. Okay, so I'd know these numbers right now. Okay, so in May, this was a $439,000 house. Today, this would be a $458,000 house. Okay, could be the difference. What is what's that guy have a day? What's his name? Bob Does Sport. He always said could be the difference. Could be the difference right now. Okay. So I'm on the. Am I on the wrong thing? Yeah, I am. All right, here it is. Mortgage rates dropped to the lowest level in 10 months, upping purchase power in a buyer-friendly market. So here's a great slide. It's inside BAMX for members, okay? Here's a slide which tells you how much home you can afford as the rates change, okay? As the rates change. Look, nobody wants to see 10%, but how much of home would I be able to afford? If it's a $3,500 payment, 10% rates, I'm only, looking at a $412,000 house. Well, if these rates get down to 5.9, the $3,500 payment becomes $564,000. Okay. The same payment from, let's say, where were we, earlier at points in the year, 7.5. You got a house under 500,000 on $3,500 payment. If we can get down to 5.9 or you buy down to 5.9, we're talking about well over 550,000 to 564,000. So pretty good exercise here. This obviously will be uploaded into BAMX, but on Rev, pretty good exercise here to scroll through, have these numbers. Everybody's personal financial situation is different. This isn't financial advice, but have these numbers to help educate your clients, your customers, so that you can get them the right information. Maybe they're on the sidelines only because nobody's had the discussion with them. Okay, maybe they're on the sidelines right now because they don't have the information. I guarantee if you go down to your downtown center, walk down the street, go out in front of your office today and ask 10 people, do they know which day mortgage rates hit the lowest? What was the lowest day of the year? I bet you not very many, maybe 1 out of 10 is going to say, oh, it was yesterday. They don't know. You gotta have this information ready, be able to bring that to them as that resource. So play with the numbers today. Purchasing power just went up. The affordability, albeit not great, affordability just went up in today's market. Okay. So that'll be uploaded inside of BAMX for you. You can go check that out. Obviously, by going in members, just go in and hit your daily hot sheet. We put everything in there for what's happening right now. Go to the bottom, get all the links. All right. All of my notes as well are uploaded in there. All right. Moving into some of the hottest markets right now. Realtor.com released the hottest zips in 2025. So these are the zip codes. Each year, Realtor.com does this. These are the zip codes that are being spotlighted across the U.S. where buyer interest is the strongest. Okay, so hey, maybe you're going to invest in a zip code on whether it be Google PPC or a portal like Realtor.com or whatever. Well, these are the zip codes. This is great marketing for you if you're in one of these zip codes. This is the Hotness Map. Okay, this isn't what are those dating apps? This isn't Tinder Hotness Map. This is the real estate Hotness Map for Realtor.com. Number one, Beverly, Massachusetts is the number one zip. Look at where the most interest is. It's all Northeast. This is a supply and demand conversation. We're not 5-7 million homes short to meet demand. We're homes short to meet demand in certain locations. Just go ask your friends in Southwest Florida. Go ask your friends in Austin, Texas, if they need even more inventory. No, the answer is no. You need inventory. You need building in the locations where they're not building. And that's why these areas are so hot, the lack of inventory. Beverly, Mass, Marlton, New Jersey, Leominster, Mass, Baldwin, Missouri is on the list. Oh, no. Yeah, there you go. Baldwin, Missouri. And is that Missouri? Jesus Christ. Sorry for everyone that hates it when I say Jesus Christ. Every once in a while it slips out. I get comments like that all the time. Don't say, yeah, it's Missouri, right? Sorry to everybody in Baldwin for not knowing that was Missouri. Sorry to everybody who hates it when I say, I won't say it again. My mom doesn't even like it when I say it. Wayne, New Jersey, number 5. Strongsville, Ohio, number 6. Trumbull, Connecticut. That's where Bobby lives. Number 7. Cumberland, Rhode Island. South Windsor, Connecticut, 9. And then Bexley, Ohio. Throw in the live chat. Throw in the live chat if you want me to plug in a zip of yours. So this is really interesting here. You can see your zip on. Will it show the Hotness Map? No, it's just going to show market. Never mind. Don't throw your zip in the live chat. I thought this was actually. I thought it went to the Hotness Map for everybody. All right. Anyways, there's your top 10. Here are the key takeaways from Realtor.com. Beverly, Mass, which is the hottest. Many buyers are prioritizing relative value by shopping in zips where homes are priced below local market medians, even if above the national norm. Like we can take where I said Bobby is, Trumbull, for example. Okay, it's Fairfield County. People think Fairfield County in Connecticut, and they're thinking, ooh, Greenwich, Westport, Bobby Axelrod style, right? Trumbull, one of the more affordable options in comparison to some of their neighbors in Fairfield County. Okay, so that's how that works when you're looking at these zips. Yeah, Trumbull's going to be 660,000 plus on the median listing price. May not sound affordable to all, but in comparison to where where buyers would be looking, that is the case there. You see median days on market on these areas. They're all under 25. Viewers per property versus the U.S., 4.6 times more viewers per property versus what's going on in the U.S. The Northeast and the Midwest are dominating intense buyer demand. Again, that's driven by the inventory value proposition in a high rate environment. We just talked about, hey, there's more money coming in. Obviously, now with where rates are for buyers, got to get that information out. They got a little bit more flexibility after what happened yesterday. And there you go. There's your Hotness Map from Realtor.com. Here's where we're checking in on the 10-year today, still at about 4.2. If we go to the last month, this is the low level for the month. We're at 4.2, and we're still, we're only at 4.2, and we're still at the lowest level of the year, 6.57. Yesterday was a good day. Ice Cube, thank you very much. 6.57. That's down almost 0.2 of a point from where we ended the week last week at 6.75. And this is what I was saying yesterday. If you were on the hot sheet yesterday, Look at this. It's the first time we've seen this all year where the gray bar right there, all the way to the right, if you're actually watching, if you're driving or something right now or walking on the road, don't grab your phone. The gray bar is that weekly Mortgage Banker Association number, and the blue line is the daily number. They are going opposite directions. This is how fast this kind of shift happened with that jobs report on daily mortgage rates. You don't see this any other point in the year. The blue line, Mortgage Banker Association on the weekly. The orange line, Freddie Mac, was closer to the daily. Then the blue daily survey from Mortgage News Daily. First time all year where the weekly from Mortgage Banker and the daily are just going in complete opposite directions. The weekly from Mortgage Banker Association up over 7, and the daily obviously down to 6.5. So these things change fast. It's a fluid situation. We've seen flashes in the pan. Okay, what do we got to 6.6 on April the 4th. Okay, here's a warning shot on rates. April the 4th, 6.6. What happened the next day? Really, that Monday after the weekend. Come back in, it was 6.82. Then by April the 9th, it was 6.95. And then by April 11th, it was 7.07. Okay, that's like saying right now on August 11th, it'll be 7.07 again. That's how fast it changed. It's why the conversation about potentially being locked in today with a buyer is really relevant. Oh, I'll put those calls off to maybe Friday or Monday and let people know. Monday, the rates might be back up over 7. I don't think they will, but I also have no freaking idea. It happened multiple times over the last 12 months. 6.68 on December the 6th in 2024. And by January 10th, they were 7.24. By December 18th, they were 7.13. So from December 6th, 12 days later, it moved up a half a point. They can move right up a half a point very quickly. Look at this jump we had in October the 3rd last year. We were at 6.26. By October 7th, we were at 6.62. The rates can move very quickly. I'm hoping that this is now the progression downward of sustainably getting to 6% and maybe moving into the spring next year of 6 or just under. But data changes this all the time. That jobs report on Friday changed the game. Track jobs over inflation. You want quick moves down on interest rates? The job market's got to get weaker. Well, I don't want the job market to get weaker. Okay, well, it's not going to be the inflation story. Inflation's getting covered right now by the Fed by tariff concerns. So there you go. You've got a moment in time potentially right now to articulate this information to your customers and your clients because it can change quickly. We talked about this in the BAMX role play. You don't have to get into a huge analysis on rates. Use the example that we just saw. What happened in the very beginning of COVID? The buyers who moved quickly got the best deals. The ones that waited till everybody realized I should be buying a house didn't get the best deals. They paid top of the market. The buyers that move quickly on moments of time like this or hit it early are going to have more negotiating power and are going to be able to take advantage of what's going on. All right. One thing that you should take advantage of before it happens, which is happening today at 3 p.m. Eastern. I know we just announced this, the end of last week or the weekend? Like this just got announced and it's filling up obviously like crazy. It is on Zoom. So I know last time we did this with Sharon and Andrew, there was hundreds, if not thousands something people that didn't get in to the Zoom call. But we've got Sharon Srivatsa, BAM board member, Andrew Undum, BAM consultant. You can get him as a BAM consultant. I don't even know where you go. We got that hidden because we haven't announced that publicly, but some BAMX members know about that. Sharon and Andrew doing Bulletproof Pricing Strategy Masterclass, which is happening today, 3 p.m. Eastern. How to overcome your biggest pricing worry, keep clients confident, 3 pricing mistakes that'll cost you a listing, step-by-step framework for setting up the right price every time, 5 most common agent pricing errors, how to fix them, simple way to adjust the prices automatically as the market shifts. This is free. The link Haley put in the live chat. Haley, make sure you put it in the replay too. Okay. So there you go on that. And I'm sure the link's on nowbam.com. If you just go to nowbam.com, find the article on that. I'm sure the link is there. While we're talking events, BAM Camp, September 24th, Scottsdale, Arizona. The VIP is sold out, and maybe everything is sold out because I see something going on there. I think there's still yeah. All right. So the morning mastermind sold out, but the main event is not. Make sure you go there. That is going to be sold out pretty soon. BAMcamp.live, September 24th. It's our only live event in person on the year. So make sure that you get that. All right. There's your hot sheet. I think we're going to do a real word today. I know we had to skip last week. We are going to do one today. That'll be up on the channel later on. Obviously, make sure you check out the Sharon and Andrew, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific, free masterclass on pricing. All right. There you go. I'll see you guys soon. Until then, toodaloo.